So a new year, a new truck. And I figured to celebrate the taco, we would make some carne asada tacos. I forgot my jet boil, so I'm having to boil water in this saucepan. It's working pretty good, so it's already boiling from my coffee. Well, it's a new year, so it's time for a new adventure vehicle. It's a 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. Obviously, it's previously owned. And I thought, what better way to celebrate than celebrate the taco with some tacos. So carne asada, tacos, stripped down like I normally. I didn't bring cheese. It's funny because I like queso fresco or feta on these instead of like regular cheese. I might cheat and roll this up as a burrito. So I got my Black Rifle coffee, delicious. Had to heat the water in a pan. It's been a little bit since I've had carne asada. I usually eat al pastor lately. But, and the store actually had al pastor. I got this from Sprouts. There's a really good Mexican grocery store nearby, and they've got some really good stuff. I didn't have time to go over there. I just happened to be at Sprouts the other day, and I picked this up. Pretty good. Could use a little rice and beans. Maybe a little salsa to go with the tapatio or chola. Some feta or queso fresco. Be really good. The way I cooked it was almost like fajitas, because I cut it down into more sizable chunks. But I think it's probably made from skirt steak. Yesterday and today I brought the truck out kind of for its baptism by fire. It's been really it's rained a lot, so it's pretty muddy. Not really muddy, it's real slippery. Maybe muddy about this deep. Want to see how this truck did. I'm going to refer to this thing as a stock truck, right? Yes, it's, you can have a TRD off-road, TRD, all kinds of versions of that, but it's still from the dealer's lot. You haven't lifted it, you haven't put on different wheels, tires, suspension. So as far as that goes, I wanted to see how this thing does in its stock configuration from Toyota. Yes, it's a TRD Pro, but a lot of the stuff with TRD Pro is cosmetic. The grille, the front, the lights, the badging, the leather seats, the stitching, stuff like that. Yes, it does have specific Fox performance shocks for the Pro, and they seem to be pretty good. They're pretty stiff on the road, and they work really well off-road so far from what I've seen. So I've been out and got some mud on it, been out doing some fun stuff. Like I said, Saturday, New Year's Eve right now. So Happy New Year. Hope you guys all have a prosperous year, because that's what we all want. Happiness, health and happiness, right? That's what we're looking for. It's not uncommon for me to not get bored of vehicles, but to maybe get a new one. Pretty much every 2 years, I'll get, not a new one, a different vehicle. And it was time. I needed a truck. And, I've been driving full-size crew cab, four-wheel drive diesel pickup trucks for the last 20 plus years. And I thought it was just maybe I wanted to do something a little bit different. My first vehicle, my very first vehicle ever when I was 15 years old was a Volkswagen Baja Bug. So it was a Volkswagen Beetle, been cut and converted into an off-road car. Totally unreliable, broke down on me all the time, had to push start it all the time, had to get it towed all the time. So my first vehicle that was reliable was like a daily driver, something I drove to school and relied on to get to work, was a what I like to call mid-size, you could say small, but mid-size truck. It was a Ford Ranger, Manual transmission, V6, two-wheel drive, but it was lifted, had kind of a pre-runner kit on it. So realistically, my first vehicle was a mid-size, smaller truck, and I had so much fun in that thing. I mean, it really launched I had been riding ATCs and motorcycles, dirt bikes, and trail bikes, anything motorized from when I was really small. But when it came to vehicles, that was really my birth into off-roading when it came to four-wheeled vehicles. And I loved it. This brought me back to that mentality. I wanted something smaller for the trails I go on. Out here, you can see I go through the forests a lot, and a lot of the trails are small. They're narrow. A lot of side-by-side trails that I try and get through as well. So I thought, like an F-150 size, like a half-ton truck, still not really what I wanted. I just had one. I had a Rebel a couple of years ago, a Ram Rebel. Awesome. Probably the nicest truck I've ever had. I only had it about a year, though, and I got rid of that. And that was brand new. I had a Raptor for a while. I almost got a Raptor instead of this because someone else in my house wanted that. She didn't really want me getting this. But some funny things came about with Toyota, and it worked out to where I was able to actually drive this for a couple months. They gave it to me to let me drive it. Pretty much, trying to convince me to buy it, but also to get a feel for it. They know all the other vehicles that I have, all the Land Cruisers and the Lexus and all that. And I said I wanted to get into a truck. I wasn't sure I could fit in here because I sat in my friend's 4Runner that's been featured in this video, and I kind of hit my head. The sunroof cartridge is so thick in those. The ones without a I sat in some at the dealership. Not that I was in the market for a 4Runner because I have all these wagons already. I didn't need another wagon. I wanted something different. And a truck versus a wagon, there's a lot of differences, right? The way the weight distribution is, and there's just a lot of things. So it's another unique experience to get back into a truck, which is up until just a few years ago, that's all I ever off-roaded with was trucks. I didn't have SUVs or wagons, a Land Cruiser, a Cherokee, anything like that. I bought the Jeep in 2016. So from that point, I kind of got used to that weight distribution of that type of vehicle, and they're really good. The weight distribution is really good. I remember trucks, if you don't have any weight in the bed, it was not the best because all your power was coming really from the back. In my case, it was a two-wheel drive. So a lot of things aligned, and after about 2 months, I decided, they gave me a killer deal on it. I decided to go ahead and buy this. It's got about 40,000 miles on it. So, and it's in perfect shape. Interior, exterior, everything. I've already covered it in mud. It's kind of funny. If you guys want, there's not really much to tell you about a detailed walkthrough on it. Like I said, it is a standard, unmodified TRD Pro. Right down to the 16-inch wheels and the 31-inch tires that are more street tires than they are all-terrain tires. But they've got me through some decent stuff. Nothing aggressive yet, but enough to have some fun. I was going to go try and find some snow today, but it looks like this week we're due to have some rain and snow. So possibly next weekend we'll get out in some snow and see how it does, because I know how my other vehicles do in it. They do really good. My goal with this is to leave it the way it is. Probably the only thing that I will do will put real all-terrain tires on it, like either the Toyos, which I really like, or the Falcons that I have on the Lexus. I like them both a lot. It's going to come down to price. I don't know if I'll stick with the 16-inch wheels. I'm not really excited about buying new wheels and tires. So I might stick with the 16s. I don't know. Because if I bought wheels, they would just be another set of TRD wheels, but in 17-inch. What I'll probably do is take the wheels and tires off the Lexus, put them on here, see how they look, see how they fit, see if I can go all the way up to that full size 33. That's what I'll look into first. But I've been having fun with it, and having a newer vehicle, even though it's used, the 2021 versus all my other old vehicles. Oh, it's just tight. The steering, every push button start, all the amenities that you want in a modern vehicle. It's really nice to have that. The heated seats work so good. It goes up your back. Really, really good. Everything works perfect. And surprisingly, what I was talking about being able to fit in here, I fit pretty good. Pretty good. I like the fact that it's pretty open, but my seating position, I don't know if it's because they're the leather seats with the power option on the driver's seat, but man, it's got all the adjustments that I really like. To be able to raise and lower the seat, to tilt it, trying to get your legs to where they're not hanging out there or your knees are all folded up. I'm pretty comfortable in it. I've driven it about 100 miles away and 100 miles back, so about 200-mile trip, and everything felt good. Let's start progressively pushing out farther. But for me, nothing is ever like in stone. It's not like because I got this vehicle, I'm going to keep it forever. I might sell it in a year. You never know. I like to continually try different vehicles out. Most of my vehicles are these budget, older vehicles, which are a lot of fun. But I needed something that was a little bit newer, something with really not 300,000 miles on it, like a lot of my vehicles have. So this came with this tonneau cover over it. I was telling myself I wouldn't have bought that, but being that it's on there already, yeah, it's okay. I could see everything that they did. They put the protective 3M coating on it when they first bought this. They put this tonneau cover on there when they first bought this. It's actually Toyota branded tonneau cover. It's got the Toyota emblem real lightly in the back center of it. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily buy it, but it literally just has these little spring clips, and it tri-folds up. And if you want to take it off, you can take it off in, I don't know, maybe a minute and have your wide open bed. Or you can try or bifold it up and haul stuff in there if you want. It's got straps and clamps that you can drive with it, fold it up. So it's all right. Like I said, I probably wouldn't, depending on how much those things are. I may not have bought that. It was just on there, so I'm not complaining. Now, inside the bed of the truck is probably the only place that I'm going to do any modifications. They've got the track railing on the sides, and there's some companies out there that make attachments in there for mounting a shovel to the side, possibly mounting an umbrella back here towards this taillight so it'll give me shade at the tailgate. I did that at work. I would get patio umbrellas with the concrete little thing. I'd set that in the bed of my truck, put the patio umbrella up, because we used to work out of the beds of our trucks all the time. And it works great. They really work good as long as there's no wind. So I might do something for this, because I have absolute no intention on putting on like a bed rack and all that stuff. Like most of the Tacomas around here are really tricked out. They've got the bed rack with the rooftop tent and the max tracks and gas cans and high lift jacks and all this stuff and tire shine. I never see it. They're not really dirty. I'm kidding. Actually, around here, interestingly enough, it seems like the Tacomas, okay, let me get this out of the way. I talked before about how many Jeeps are around where I live. There's so many Jeeps, but there's also so many Tacomas, right? But it seems like the Tacomas are always dirty and muddy and stuff like that, a lot more than the fancy Jeeps that are around here. I think that the older people where I live, because there's a lot of retired people around here, they buy these Jeeps. I'm not sure why. I don't see a Jeep being a decent daily driver, but my only reference is one riding on 37s. But they buy the Jeeps, the Rubicon, like the really nice Jeeps, but they never take them off-road. That's their prerogative. But you'd think if you'd want to buy something that's so capable off-road, you would buy that specifically to take it off-road. Anyway, my main goal right now is to get some of those mounts in the bed, because with this thing not having a winch on it, I need to carry some kind of traction boards in the bed of the truck, a good shovel, I'm going to get the Husky box that's completely sealed. I can put an air compressor in there and a strap in case I get stuck. But having an air compressor to be able to air down your tires and air them back up, traction boards, and a good shovel should cover me pretty good in this. It should cover it pretty good. And I want to be able to mount that stuff in the bed and not take up all my bed space. This was the first time using it, and I didn't bring a table or anything. I just cooked on the tailgate. There's a little bit limited space. I could put the bag up on the tonneau cover and have a little bit more space, but it was just fine. It's a little low for me, but it was fine. And the only thing I'm probably going to do as far as like major modifications is to get some real tires on here, because anytime you do any kind of off-roading, it's very, very important to get quality off-road tires, like a good all-terrain. Toyo, Falcon. I like those a lot. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. It is getting darker out. Clouds are getting darker. Days getting longer. It's getting colder. It's going to start raining, hopefully start snowing. Hope you guys enjoyed my New Year, new truck video. It's not new to me truck. I had fun today. A lot of fun. Different type of off-roading, but Happy New Year to all of you. I wish you happiness, health, and prosperity. That's a pretty good combo right there. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next weekend.